A shooting in Richland Township leaves one person hurt. What we know about the incident so far. Plus, it's been 1 week since a deadly attack on a Grand Blanc church. We hear the story of two officers who were some of the first to respond. And how WMU students are working to keep the local environment clean. News Channel 3 Live at 11 starts right now.
Covering West Michigan to protect and alert you. This is News Channel 3 Live at 11.
Thanks for joining us on News Channel 3 Live at 11. I'm Princess Janae Steverson. New tonight, a 19-year-old has reportedly drowned in Berrien County. Police say they were dispatched to the area of South Main Street at Lake Chapin around 4 p.m. yesterday. Several people were attempting to swim to bridge support beams in the lake. Police say one of them, a 19-year-old from Ohio, was struggling and went underwater. Other swimmers and nearby boaters attempted to save him but were unsuccessful. A dive team recovered his body just before 8 p.m. Saturday. This incident remains under investigation. In Kalamazoo County, officials say one person was hurt after a shooting in Richland Township. They say it happened this morning around 11:15 a.m. on East D Avenue. There is where deputies found a 65-year-old man with a gunshot wound to the neck. He was treated on scene and then taken to a hospital for a non-life-threatening injury. Deputies say they have identified the suspect and recovered the weapon used. The shooting is now under investigation. Meanwhile, one person is dead after a crash involving a motorcycle. The St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 1 a.m. today at the intersection of 131 and Riverside Drive in Constantine Township. Deputies say the 34-year-old motorcyclist was heading north on 131 when a 40-year-old man in a truck entered his path. The two collided and the motorcyclist was ejected and fatally injured. He was pronounced dead on the scene. The other driver was not hurt. Deputies say speed was not a factor. They're now waiting on alcohol and drug test results. Taking a live look now over downtown Kalamazoo, we saw a warm and sunny end to the weekend. Meteorologist Will Haney is in the Weather Alert Center with a look at your work week forecast. Will?
Yeah, and for those of you that were fans of the weather we saw over the weekend, we get a continuation of it for the most part for the start of the work week before you fall fans will be rejoicing with some cooler temps in store. Let's look live right now in Holland and Allegan. You can see things quiet out there. Temperatures are for the most part in the middle to upper 60s right now. Michelle Powell, thanks for this shot from North Beach and South Haven. Beautiful view of sundown over Lake Michigan. We have clear skies across the mitten right now. A little bit of some showers pushing their way into the western UP, and you can start to see our front that's going to swing through here early Tuesday taking shape in the form of some showers and storms to our west. Those still about 24 hours away, maybe a little bit before then. We'll start to see some showers and storms tomorrow evening. Our third consecutive day, though, in the 80s today, 83 in Kalamazoo. That was about 4 degrees cooler than yesterday and Friday. Overnight tonight, we fall to about 62. Cool enough to open those windows, but still well above average. Tomorrow, most of the day is dry. It's not until probably after about dinner time that we'll start to see some showers and a few embedded thunderstorms too. We're going to talk about how long that rain lingers into Tuesday and when frost could be a real possibility this week. Coming up in minutes. Princess.
Thanks, Will. It's been 1 week since the horrific situation at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. 4 people died and 8 others were injured after police say a man drove his truck into the church, started shooting, and lit the church on fire. While many law enforcement personnel rushed to the scene, there were 2 officers who responded first. Courtney Bennett explains.
It was Sunday morning, and a DNR officer who was on duty that morning, he was driving down McCandlish Road when he heard over his radio that there was an active shooter happening at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We have an active shooter at the church.
That call coming in at 10:25 and 32 seconds on Sunday morning.
We had officers on scene at 10:25 and 57 seconds.
That was Chief William Rennie during Sunday's news conference. The suspect was shot and killed in the back parking lot of the church at 10:33 in the morning. It was a Grand Blanc Township police officer as well as a Michigan DNR officer who engaged with the suspect.
Conservation officers rarely have weekends off, so he was working and happened to be driving past the church as the dispatch call went out.
Attorney Mark Curtis is with the defender of the Blue law firm.
When there is a critical incident, an officer-involved shooting, an in-depth custody, a criminal investigation, anything that a law enforcement officer might be criminally investigated for, we represent them.
Per protocol, with any officer-involved shooting, there's an investigation that takes place. Curtis was called to represent the DNR officer.
In any active shooter situation, law enforcement response, the faster they can get there, the quicker that they can be there to take care of an active shooter is vital.
Curtis says how fast these officers work to contain the active shooter situation was crucial, saying his client is more concerned about the victims and their families right now.
He sees himself as a law enforcement officer and did what any other law enforcement officer would have done in that same situation.
The police chief of Grand Blanc Township says that quick response saved lives that day. For now, reporting in Grand Blanc Township, I'm Courtney Bennett.
We're learning about a recall involving a popular treat for dogs. Best Buy Bones, based out of Genesee County, is recalling some of its Nature's Own Pet Chews Bully Bites. The treats come in 16-ounce bags and have an expiration date of September 2027. Authorities say the treats may be contaminated with salmonella. The virus can sicken dogs and people who handle the treats. So far, no one has reported getting sick. The company says anyone who may have the treats should throw them away or return them to the store where they were bought for a refund. At Kalamazoo sees its final day of 80-degree weather this year. Western Michigan students were ready to clean up the last bits of summer litter. They hit the Kalamazoo River Valley Trail for the second time this year with trash packages and garbage bags in hand. News Channel 3's Colin Roos walked alongside them as they beautified more than 2 miles.
Covering 2 miles of trail by foot, by car, and by boat, Western Michigan's fraternities weren't afraid to get their hands dirty. As part of the river trail cleanup, they searched for trash and cut overhanging branches to cap off the summer season. They didn't just find cans and wrappers, with blankets, bicycle tires, and more than 60 pounds of scrap metal, all finding their way to the dumpster. Michigan Waterway Stewart President Mike Stout says each time the trail is cleaned, users are encouraged to keep it that way.
It's the old adage, like broken windows attract people to break windows. The same thing as a park or an area is cleaner. People are more inclined to be mindful of litter and trash and take care of it.
During the spring alone, the group also cleared out more than 300 cubic yards of invasive trees and bushes. Stout's group says removing litter in Michigan is still a struggle more than 50 years after the Clean Water Act. But he tells us those challenges come along with life in a city.
The biggest challenge we have here is simply the pressure of urban living, the litter and trash, from just litter coming down the roads, the trails.
The group works across the state and found that Michigan's college students were eager to give back. This marks the second year WMU's Sigma Chi chapter has taken part, with one of its members kayaking to find garbage littering an island in the river. Kappa Sigma isn't officially chartered at the school yet, but has already set itself a goal of 3 community outreach events per semester. They say even 3 miles off campus, caring for Kalamazoo makes Greek life stronger.
When we first did this path in the river was littered with trash, and just seeing it, I wanted to be proud of my community.
I made an agreement with a bunch of my best friends from back home, and we all said that whatever college we go to, we're going to make it better than when we weren't there. So we're going to make an impact, and already doing this it's pretty awesome.
In Kalamazoo, Colin Roos, News Channel 3.
More changes happening in downtown Kalamazoo as construction continues on the new event center. The city posted these photos on Friday showing crews removing the highway style signs over Kalamazoo Avenue. The city says it's another step towards the two-way street design. Here's a video of what the street looks like now. The city says more construction is expected to start in the spring to bring modern utilities and smart traffic signals to the area. As the government shutdown enters a second week, President Trump says any firing of government employees will be because of Democrats. This comes as a CBS News poll finds Americans are frustrated with the shutdown and worry about its impact on the economy. Chanel Call has more.
As the government shutdown enters its second week, President Trump remains adamant that Democrats are responsible for the shutdown and for the potential layoffs of government employees. The White House says firings will happen if the government is not reopened soon.
We're ready to go back. You know, we have a record-setting economy. We have a record-setting country. Prices are way down. We're doing better than the country's ever done. and the Democrats hate seeing that. It's up to them. Anybody laid off, that's because of the Democrats.
A new CBS News poll finds many Americans are frustrated with the shutdown, disapproving of the White House, Republicans in Congress, and Democrats in Congress nearly equally. The poll also finds that those surveyed are worried about the impact the shutdown could have on the economy, with 49% saying they're very concerned and 31% saying they are somewhat concerned. On Sunday's Face the Nation, congressional leaders from both sides of the aisle blame the opposing party for the shutdown, with Democratic leaders saying they're fighting for Americans' health care and Republicans saying the Democrats are being unreasonable.
We have a health care crisis in America caused by the Republicans. They've barreled us towards a shutdown because they don't want to deal with that crisis.
There's probably 400 different ideas on how to fix that, but we need a little time to do it. We're not saying that we won't negotiate it. We're saying turn the lights back on in Congress.
The next congressional vote on the shutdown is expected to take place on Monday. Chanel Call, CBS News.
Coming up, a $90 million bust of illegal e-cigarettes is the biggest in U.S. history. Tonight's Spotlight on America features the FDA commissioner on how they're cracking down on this industry. Plus, we have the latest on the National Guard troops reportedly being sent to Portland, Oregon.
And get ready for a couple mornings of some frosty conditions. We'll talk timing of that and a look ahead at a fantastic next weekend coming right up.